Hello, hello, hello. Looking at HR, legal issues, and health. And I'm your host, Carl Williams. My co-hosts haven't made it in due to the weather, but I still do have our special guest that we talked and promised he would be here this week, and he was able to make it. Scotty Bowman.
Hi, Scotty Bowman here from Detroit Residents Advancing Civilian Oversight. That's Draco, and I can't wait to get some of your calls.
Yes, we're here live. This is not a tape. So call all your friends, relatives, and tell them to tune in and they can call in because last week we was just overwhelmed with calls, but we were trying to get the information and because of the time constraint, we wasn't able to answer any of your calls. So if you have any friends out there that had calls that they wanted to come call in last week, you can call in today, and we'll make sure that we answer everyone's call. Well, a lot of people just may be tuning in, so maybe you could give us a little recap of what you talked about last week, so they be so those who just tuning in will be up to date.
Okay, well, last week we were talking about a number of issues related to public safety and the Board of Police Commissioners and the effect the charter revision could have on that. The organization that I started, which is Detroit Residents Advancing Civilian Oversight, has the primary mission of simply informing Detroiters that we have a board of police commissioners and what that board is and what their genuine duties are, and then in the court, and also why it's important. And then a additional task kind of happened upon us, which was the fact that we had a rather almost surprise charter revision matter come up, and so now there is the possibility that the commission could be improved upon or completely eliminated based upon the outcome of the charter commission's work and what they have put on the ballot. I believe that would probably be next year, maybe put on the ballot, and the voters would be voting on whether or not to approve that. So that part's wide open. It's effectively the constitution of the city, and they can effectively rewrite the city government. There are some state guidelines that they must follow, but it's pretty broad. The other issue, as far as the Board of Police Commissioners, we did discuss, for instance, that there was a police corporal, Corporal Jones, who had punched out a lady back in the summer over at Receiving Hospital in the emergency room area, and that some of the charges had been dropped against him. Some of them were still pending. I was expressing some displeasure about the fact that the Board of Police Commissioners, in my opinion, did not discipline this person appropriately. And there's a need for more training because apparently there was a large number of police officers that thought this was the best way to handle things. Then we have there's some other issues, for instance, that we'll be talking about that. For instance, Chief Craig, a lot of people may not know, is also deputy mayor, and there are a number of people suggesting that he leave the deputy mayor post to be exclusively a police chief last week. So that's another thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're gonna be dedicated as a deputy mayor or whichever one, you can't do both. I mean, I prefer you being dedicated to whatever that one position is. You know, this issue has come up before with Sharon McPhail when she was, I think she was a council person. She was getting ready to run for something, and they was, didn't allow her to do it because they say she cannot hold two offices. Now, that's something that the charter probably would and will address because it's very, 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 very important, this charter. Now, as it stands now, it's really not binding, but we're just beginning to create it. That's why you have to be very careful, and I'm attending all the meetings because it's one thing that has to be done in order for, you hear a lot of people call the charter the Constitution, where it only could be a binding document that acts like a constitution if you have an oath of office. If in your oath of office you include the charter. And at one time, you used to take an oath to the charter, the state, and federal constitution. Well, that part has been taken out, and that's why it doesn't have any teeth. And that's what needs to be put back. And then we can refer to the charter as the city constitution. Oh, let me, we got a call here. Hello, you on air? Hello? I guess, well, I don't know. Maybe we answered their question.
Maybe.
But yeah, this point in life in history is very, very important for Detroiters. A lot of people don't understand what that charter is about because recently it didn't really have any binding power. You know, you just say somebody violate the charter, and yeah, okay, even if you prove them right, well, so what? You know, it was almost like the ethics committee. People could do something unethical, but they can't, you know, it's nothing really, no real discipline. You know, you just spank them on the hand and just say, okay, don't do it no more. Well, we don't want the child. We don't want a child like that. We want a child with some teeth. So we want to make sure that the oath is put back into the. I mean, the charter is put back in your sworn oath. So then we'll have a document. And while we're crafting it, anything that our elected official or unelected official is doing out here and you don't like it, that's why you should come to those meetings so you can express your concerns and we can address the issue. Because if we do this thing, get this thing right, and I'm going to do everything in my power and hope that we, and hope and see to it that we do get it right. Because once you put all your concerns in the charter and you replace or put the oath back in, I mean the charter back in the oath, I always keep getting it backwards. You put the charter back in the oath, now you have a binding document that you can look to and you can hold your elected officials and unelected officials accountable. But as it stands now, you don't. So when you hear people say that the charter is the Constitution, make sure you explain to them that it is a difference. It's only a binding document that can act as a Constitution if you take an allegiance not only to the state and federal Constitution, but also to the charter.
Yeah, I know another thing is consequences, and I'm thinking there probably should be a procedure for removal of a person that does not keep their oath.
Yeah, they mentioned something about that in one of those meeting removal of office of an official, but there was nothing stated on what they consider as a serious offense or forfeiture of office or anything like that. But all that can be put in there. So I'm taking notes because I want to make sure that that is addressed because that's very important. That's the only way. That's the only way you'll be able to hold your officials accountable. We got another call. I guess they're. Hello, you on air? Hello, you on air? What's going on?
It's not going over the speaker, and maybe they really are on there.
Engineer, could you check that out for me? It's up? Okay. You on air? Well, I don't know what's going on. We got some technical problems here.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Carl.
Yes,
Hey, Deputy Chief, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, and good morning to your guest.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, look, Carl, first of all, I want to tell you thank you for allowing me to announce the call to action that was held this past Saturday. We had great turnout. Community was engaged. They had pertinent questions, and we're moving forward. And so, again, thank you for allowing us to make that announcement. Number two, this confusion with this charter commission, I mean, ever since they were elected, it's been nothing but chaos, craziness, and ignorance. And I believe that according to the Michigan recall law, that a person has to be in office 6 months before they can be recalled. 6 months and 1 day, we should file to recall Carol Weaver from the Charter Commission and Richard Mack, because this don't make any sense. I'm hearing now that 5 of the commissioners will not attend the charter meeting over at the church on Pack and Revere.
Well, I've been to all of them. Most of the time they show up. Now, it did start off in chaos, but it's not as bad as it was. But
Well, you haven't heard then. The problem is.
I know what the problem is because I've been at all the meetings.
Yeah, I understand
but the thing is, what we got to do, if we don't get what we want, then we can address those and just make them start all over again. That's the first thing that I told them, that with all these violations that we already see with the Open Meetings Act and the Robert's Rules of Order, that if things are not addressed to the benefit of the community, that we were going to have him just void this whole process and start all over again.
Okay, Carl, this is what's going on, man. There's a meeting was scheduled officially for Sacred Heart this evening.
Yeah, it's still supposed to be at Sacred Heart as far as I'm concerned.
That's right. And then all of a sudden, a few days ago, the meeting was called to be at Northwest Activities. Okay? Well, since then, it's my understanding that 5 of the commissioners will not be there because they want to listen to the governor's State of the Union address. Now, that's crazy. The charter business dealing with Detroit is greater than the governor's State of the Union speech, and they need to focus on Detroit. That's what they were elected to do.
Well, I heard the same thing that you heard, and if that's true, I agree with you as far as that is concerned. Their job is the first and primary concern, not what the governor is going to be saying. The governor's concern is with the state. What
Right.
they're doing is with the city, and they need to be focused on that. And that's a poor excuse for not having a meeting, and you really not taking your job seriously if you're worried about what the state is going to do, and you're not representing the state, you representing the city.
They should
That's right.
record the State of the State address and watch it when they get home.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm glad he said that. I was thinking it, but I'm glad he put it out there because everybody have.
Whitmer isn't going to know if they're
recorders.
watching when it's live. It's not like it's going to hurt her style to not have them in the audience live.
Yeah, they can. I mean, you can do it on your TV. A lot of people have them VCRs. I mean, there are many ways that they can record it, so that shouldn't interfere because they're not going to call in and ask any questions. I mean, that's all you're going to do is listen to her address. So that's a very poor excuse, and it really a bad reflection on them to be even using that as an excuse to keep from having the meeting. Now, it is bad outside, and if it was due to the weather, I could understand, but they didn't say that, so we're going to see how this play out.
Oh,
Okay.
and as of now, I'm looking at the city website, and they still have conflicting meetings. I actually, a few days ago, emailed every charter commissioner, and normally they reply to my emails and ask them, well, what is it? Is there a budget meeting at the same time? Because it's a budget committee at the Northwest Activity Center, and then at Sacred Heart is supposed to be the full charter commission. And I'm like, well, which is it? Are you actually going to have, a good portion of the members absent for a committee meeting of the same body, in a different place? And no one responded. I have not gotten a single response from any of the charter commissioners. All of a sudden, they're not responding to me, and apparently not to anyone else, because it's still here on the website for the city of Detroit.
Now,
that
who
we
did
have
you
two
send it to?
conflicting meetings.
Who did you send it to?
All of them.
You sent it to all of them?
All of them.
Okay, and see, here's
Was it
the
by
thing,
email
too,
or
Carl.
what?
Email.
Email.
There's been so many, it's been about 4 or 5 violations of the Open Meetings Act.
Well, yeah, I know that. The Open Meetings Act and the Robert's Rules of Order. It's
Right,
been a lot of
okay.
violations now. That's for sure.
Okay, so the violations of the Open Meeting Act come with consequences. There's a penalty of, I think it's like $1,000 the first offense,
Yeah.
whoever created it, and then it increases from the second time on up. So that's why I'm saying, man, they need to get their act together and stop this pettiness and this craziness coming from the leadership. She needs to get that charter commission in order, and since she can't, we need to recall her and Robert Mack and any commissioner that did not show up for the meeting.
And Richard Mack.
Yeah, Richard Mack.
Yeah, Richard Mack.
Yeah,
thank you for the correction.
Well, that's right. Well, you got some people, don't want to see this be successful anyway. So, a lot of this stuff is done intentionally.
Right.
And they know that the meeting was scheduled to be at over here at Sacred Heart, and they need to, even if they were going to change it, they have to do it, I think, within 7 days of the meeting. So all this that they're doing, they're just making things worse for themselves, because we just avoid everything that they did in that particular meeting will be voided.
Right.
Just based on the violations that they made.
Right.
And I will be putting something together myself. I had planned on doing it at this next meeting. Hopefully, if I have enough time, I will have something done. But if not, I'll do it at the following meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks for taking the call, Carl.
Thanks for doing it here.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, since the one meeting is a committee meeting and the other one's supposed to be the general meeting, I'm probably, because the other one's budget committee, I'm inclined that I'm going to go to Sacred Heart for the general meeting,
Yeah.
and then find out whether or not it really is there. Given what might happen is they might have the other commissioners show up and not have a quorum, in which case they've wasted a whole bunch of people's time. And maybe I'll take a road trip rather than correcting their announcements. And even when people like ourselves are here, that they're not calling in, they're not responding to messages to them, asking which is it, that there's no response. And I think that's really irresponsible. As far as otherwise, what he was saying, they have gotten better. They've gotten a lot better, and I haven't actually seen, since the discussion of the bylaws, which they have started over with because it was a problem, I haven't seen any further behavior that indicates a violation of the Open Meetings Act. There was that initial matter of bylaws that someone had discussed with other members that hadn't gotten to everybody, and that was potentially a violation, but that was thrown out, that after much back and forth, the majority finally agreed to start a bylaws committee and to properly approve and write the bylaws in an open and inclusive fashion that didn't leave out any of the commissioners. So they've addressed that. Mm-hmm. And I was at one of their committee meetings. I think it was the Committee of In and Out or something, outside, inside operations. It was over by Lafayette Park, and that was totally open. There weren't that many people there, but they could have been.
Yeah, that was one that I missed. Well, they have changed a little bit, but it's one thing that they did do, and I want the public to know. doing public comment. That is part of the process. And you cannot just eliminate or avoid having public comment unless in the community or the people that's there agree to it. Now, Robert Mack, he did that. I believe it was it might have been the budget. And when they got to the part where they supposed to have comments, he just ignored it. And I went up there and I spoke to him about that. I said, wait a minute, man. I said, aren't you going to have public comment? He said, well, we've been speaking all the time. So I said, well, wait a minute. That has nothing to do with the rules. I said, people speaking all the time and having public comment is not the same thing. So, you know, I'll be writing something up on that. So I just want you to know how some things go. A lot of people thought that everything, well, it did go kind of smooth. You know, it wasn't real bad. It wasn't no shouting back and forth. But public comment is very important because that's the time that the community get to address some of the issues. So regardless of what they may think, they still must address or say that they're going to have public comment. And then if no one wants to speak, well, then you can say, well, okay, well, no one wants to speak, so we can move on. Well, he didn't do that. So we got to hold them accountable when they don't do it. My co-host has showed up here, and engineer, could we go to maybe a 2-minute break?
Now you can watch WHPR TV 33 on Fire Stick. Catch all of your favorites. Stay informed. Don't miss a minute of your favorite talk shows. Call, text, tweet, post. WHPR TV 33 is worldwide on Fire Stick. For more information, go to FirestickTVNetwork.com or call us at 313-868-6612. WHPR TV 33, a Watkins Broadcasting Company.
The New Nation of Islam in coalition with WHPR Studios presents Savior's Day, Sunday, February 24th, inside the Virgin Islands Studio, 150 Victor Street in Highland Park. Doors open at 2 p.m. Join the Son of Man on Savior's Day.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. You know, most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Shabri wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Take the first step towards staying in your home by going down to the Wayne County Treasurer's office on the 5th floor of the International Building in Greektown.
Stop by today to learn more about our payment plans and especially the newly extended interest rate reduction program.
Already in the payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in Rite Aid stores and community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
Well, we're back, and my co-host is here.
Good morning, everyone.
You got to talk into the mic.
Good morning, everyone. The Lord be with you all.
What was your, you called me and told me that there's some ice and stuff out there and you was closer. I beat you here.
You sure did. It was kind of tricky getting down the steps, getting across that grass and everything to the car, and then going through that frozen lock. And anyway, I was able to make it. I'm thankful for that. Praise God.
Well, I want to tell everybody out there, be careful.
Yes.
And if you're going somewhere, if you just got to go somewhere, give yourself about 15 minutes just to clean the ice off your car. Because I had to clean it off all my windows. And then, you know, my doors were locked. It took me about 5 or 10 minutes to even be able to get into my car to start it because the locks were frozen. The only reason why I probably wouldn't be here today because the day before yesterday, I bought some freeze lock,
Okay.
and I put them in there because I had some problems before. And if I hadn't did that, I probably wouldn't be here today. So everybody out there, I'm telling you to be careful.
Be careful.
Go out there about 10 or 15 minutes and scrape your car off and start it up and let it run and, let your defrost be on. So when you do get in there and be able to drive, you'll be able to see. Because I'm telling you, it's bad out there.
And it's icy. As I come out the porch to get to the steps, to get to the walkway, it was ice.
Yeah, it's pretty thick, too.
So they're going to need a little salt as they go.
Also, I noticed on the windows, if you be very careful on the lane changes, very slow,
yeah.
because some of the back windows, they were icy, so you didn't really, it wasn't like snow where it stood out that there was an obscured view, and it kind of expanded my blind spot. I had
Yeah.
some people beep their horns to let me know that I was getting in their lane a bit too soon.
Yeah, so make sure you clean that back window.
Safety, safety.
Oh, we got another caller here. Hello, you on there?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
This is Nicole Small, Vice Chair of the Detroit Charter Commission, and I just wanted to weigh in quickly about
thank
some
you.
of the comments that were made earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, this is definitely a distraction to cause disinterest in the charter revision process for the people of Detroit. And people should be gravely concerned about a second meeting being posted, then it's being canceled. But I just want to let you know, today at 6 p.m. at Sacred Heart Activity Center, 3451 Rivard Street in Detroit. It's right there around the corner from the McDonald's on I-75 and Matt. We will be having a Detroit Charter Commission meeting.
Okay, could you get the address again kind of slowly?
3451 Rivard, and that's next to Sacred Heart Church, and it's around the corner from the McDonald's on 75 and Matt.
Okay.
And just
It's
to
really important that we make sure that the people must come out and they must address their concerns and what they want to see revised. If we start allowing them to dismantle this momentum that we have built, and we've worked so hard for it as collectively, as a community, then what will happen is that our interest won't be in this next charter revision, but other interests will.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, may I just want to double check, Nicole, and thank you very much for calling, because I would hate to still be wondering about this at 6 p.m. But just to make doubly sure, the other posted meeting that they have on the city website of this budget committee, that's definitely not happening.
No, that's a violation of the Open Meeting Act. Number one, to call it a special meeting was the first violation because it wasn't done properly. Then they called it a charter budget meeting. Well, that has to be called by the chair of the budget committee. And so I don't even know why either one of those meetings were scheduled, because Sacred Heart has been scheduled since February the 1st, and
Right.
it's been posted on the city's website since Monday, February the 4th.
Well, you heard
So
it
this
here.
Northwest Activity Center meeting, that came in days later, and it was unnecessary. You can't have to have two separate meetings. That only it serves the interest of something else, and it's not the people.
Well, you heard it here, all you viewers and listeners. That's Commissioner Small, and she said that there will be a meeting today at Sacred Heart. It's
Sacred Heart Activity Center.
3451 Rivard at 6 o'clock. So
6 o'clock today.
whatever information that you heard, you can just discard that and just make sure you come out. And we need your participation, because this is a document that's going to protect you. So we need your support. We want y'all to be there today at 6 o'clock, and you know how the weather is, so maybe by then they'll be
Well, it'll
cleared it
warm up.
I'll say it again.
It'll warm up today. It'll be like up to 38, 39.
Oh.
Okay, well,
And you know
okay.
what? It's really important. There's some misinformation being given out. If we end up not having a quorum, that does not stop a meeting from taking place. The only thing that you can't do is vote on anything. You can
Right.
table agenda items, you can have discussion, and you more importantly can have public comment. That does not mean that you cannot have a meeting because you do not have a quorum.
Well, I'm glad you expressed that because a lot of people wasn't for sure, and I wasn't for sure myself. And now that you have laid the law down, there should be no misunderstanding. Because a lot of people
No.
think that when you come there, that is, if you don't have a quorum, you can't really have a meeting. Now, I knew that wasn't true, but you made it even clear.
Yeah, you cannot vote on anything, move a motion, but you can have discussion, table agenda items to be moved until you have a quorum. And more importantly, you can have public discussion, which allows the public to discuss any aspect of this revision process. More importantly, for them to have more of an opportunity to be able to, discuss their interests and what they want to see. That's when you really take care of the people's business. And is when they have a voice.
Well, that's why it's so important that we get this right the first time with this charter. I know that we're having a lot of opposition that has been planted to not make this successful, but I believe that we can. I believe that we can do it.
I just do.
It's just that, the people have to be informed and, better informed about what is going on. Like the city's website, they should have all the meetings posted on there. If they did it, they have done it recently because the last time I looked, I didn't see all of them posted on there. The only reason why I was aware because I was at the meeting and somebody had mentioned it. And that's another thing. At the end of the meeting or maybe during the meeting, I'd like for the commissioners to either, if it's going to be a meeting next week, to state where that meeting's going to be and when it's going to be and the time and everything, so at least the people there will be informed of when the next meeting's going to take place.
Well, that requires us having some structure and not, I guess, violating the agreement that has been made. At January the 26th, a motion was passed that I would go to City Council and propose an amendment to make sure that, to a resolution is stated that all of our meetings have to be held at KMAC. Well, my resolution amendment stated that we can have the meetings anywhere in the city of Detroit, which is what we've been doing anyway. Now, this resolution was passed November 7th, and no one acted on it. I thought that the issue had been resolved, and that's why we were having meetings throughout the community. But I knew that the community definitely was not in favor of us going to KMAC. And we had made a commitment to the community to come to each and every city council district. So at that time, a motion was made for me to go down to city council on the 29th. But unfortunately, that meeting was pushed to February the 1st due to inclement weather. And during the discussion for that motion, it was stated that I would go and work with the community to identify a location to hold the meeting. And that's what I did. That's how we got the Sacred Heart.
Oh.
And so the attempt to distract the community and to confuse the community only means that someone is tired of us having such an overwhelming turnout of more than 250 or 300 people. They know what that means. They know what that type of collective power can do. It can impact effective change to support the interests of the people of Detroit, to make sure that the majority of people in Detroit have a better quality of life. and someone doesn't want that. That's why you have so much confusion. And anyone who doesn't support us having these standing meetings, you have to ask yourself, why is that?
Yes, you're absolutely right. You know, one thing I want to ask you right now while I get it on my mind, because I've been forgot all about it. One thing I would like for you to do, since we have a show here every Tuesday, if you can, I would like for you to come to the show, and then you can give a report on, you know, what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Then that way, it won't be no he say, she say something. We're getting it from the commissioners, getting it from what, like they say, the horse's mouth. And the people that's viewing will know exactly what's going on. That's one way of stopping a lot of this stuff, because I see the same thing that you see. You see a lot of things done on purpose to try to disrupt and confuse people. But we can get around all that.
We sure can, and I thank you so much for this opportunity to clarify what's going on. So I hope to see the people out tonight.
Oh, yeah. We're going to repeat it maybe a couple of times in this show, that there will be a meeting tonight. The Charter Commission will meet at 3451 Rivard at 6 o'clock today. So tell all your friends. Go ahead.
No, today, you're absolutely correct. It will take place today. They said the weather is going to get up to 38, 39, so I think that should make the conditions better for some of the people.
Yeah, you just have to get an earlier start. That's all. And by then, I'm pretty sure the roads will be a lot more better than what they are. Really, on the expressway, wasn't quite that bad, but just want you to know, don't let the weather stop you, because this is too important to be sitting at home and talking about where it's bad outside, and you haven't even went outside to check and see. Get out there, and you see it's not really as bad as they have been expressing. I had quite a ways to come from to get here, and once I got on the expressways, it was a breeze.
Okay, well, thanks again for the opportunity. I have to run into a meeting, and I'll see you this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
For doing
Bye-bye.
it here. Well, y'all heard it here. That was Nicole Small, one of the commissioners, and she said that will be a meeting today, so all the misconceptions that you may have had have been solved.
At the Sacred Heart Center, not the
Sacred
other
Heart-
place.
Right, Sacred Heart
Don't even
Center.
name anywhere else to avoid confusion.
3451 Rivard. So, we got another caller here. Caller, you on air? Caller?
Hello.
Yeah, oh, Sylvia, how you doing?
Yeah. We also, I think we need clarity, because they're already saying that all the charter commissioners won't be there, so it's really a community meeting, because there won't be a quorum. What do they call it? A quorum there to really stick teeth in what we're doing. But it is a community meeting for us to get our concerns and all our ducks in a row.
Well, yes. Look, this is not something that just happened like you would call an emergency meeting. This had been planned, and everybody been knowing about this for months. So if they don't show up, I'm putting it out there, and I want everybody to know I will be filing a complaint against the commissioners that don't show up.
Oh, thank you, Carl.
Yeah, and I would go anyway, just because, all right, one thing, like you said, it could be a community meeting. On the other hand, we can't really assume for sure that they won't have a quorum before it's there. You know, we're counting the chicken before it hatches.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarification, because people need to know, and they need to come anyway, because we need to get our concerns to the commissioners that do show up and get things, our ducks in a row. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for doing it here.
Okay.
Well, see, you're going to have people out there to say things to distract you and discourage you from coming.
naysayers.
Naysayers, yeah. And so that's one of the reasons why you should want to come.
Yeah.
Because you need, I mean, if they don't want you to come, well, then you need to ask yourself why. Why wouldn't they want you to be there? So you need to be there so you can express whatever your interest is. You know, you might not get it on the agenda right then, but at least you can express your concern so they'll be aware of it. And whatever it is, regardless of what other people may think about it, that's the only way you're going to get your issues heard. You have to be there. You have to show up. And you need to be there to show up to support the commissioners because they work for you. And if they work for you, you need to be there to make sure that they're carrying out your concerns. You can't find that out staying at home. You need to be there. And a lot of times you get third-hand information and it's not correct. So if you're there where you can see it for yourself, you don't have to worry about what that he say, she said stuff. You'll know. So please come out and support the commissioners and, you know, express your thought. We need participation from the community. This is I would say a board for the community. And you need to be there to make sure that the people that are representing you are doing what you want them to do.
Oh, in those committee meetings, by the way, one thing that's very nice about them while they're working on, and the thing is, a lot of times you have details worked out at the committee meetings, and then it's simply a yes or no vote with some discussion at the general one as
Right.
things move along here. And what's really nice about the committee meetings, I noticed, is unlike the other ones where because it is so heavily attended, they really don't take anything, recognize any conversation at all from the audience. At the general ones until the end. At the committee meetings, it's almost like you're part of the meeting sometimes.
Right.
Like I was at one where there were like about the same number of people sitting in the chairs as there were commissioners present. And we were having dialogue. I mean, it did not require we still had
Right.
community comments at the end, but most of what we wanted to say we had already said because we were going back and forth and having a conversation. I mean, literally, you could raise your hand and be recognized by the chair of the committee, almost like you're one of them. I mean, you couldn't vote on things, but other than that, it was very. I thought it was very open.
Yeah, I've attended a couple of them meetings, and it is. I would say better in a way than the general meeting because then you there and like you say, you feel like a part of the commission, and you get your whatever your views are, you get the chance to express them. And like I think the one that I went to was like the rules committee. Now, next time they have a meeting, I want people to show up. Now, I know people, when they hear rules, they get disinterested. That's the main one you need to be at. It's the rule committee, because the rule committee, that's where you set down the laws that govern this whole process. And I don't think it was 3 people there. But, we need more participation. When you hear them say rules or something like that, those are the meetings that you need to be there. So you'll know what the rules are. Then you ain't got to guess if, in fact, did they violate this rule or did it, that look like it's about, no, be there, then you'll know. Oh, we got another caller. Caller, you on air?
Hey, Carl, this is Deputy Chief. What is your contact information? Your email, phone number?
Well, mine?
Yes.
313-521-5012. Now, that's that's a landline.
Okay.
That's the home phone number. My cell phone number is, what is my cell phone? 969-6995.
6995. Okay. You have email?
Yeah, CWH.
Okay.
AZZ
AZZ
at gmail.com.
at gmail.com. Okay, I'm going to repeat it. CWHAZZ at gmail.com.
Correct.
Okay, hey man, thanks a lot. You
Yeah,
guys
thanks
have
for
a great
asking
day
for that
and be safe.
information. because I always forget to give it out over the air. Because I have been getting a few calls now about that, about the meeting. I got about 3 or 4 calls this week about it. And some of the concerns that we have talked about here on the air. So they bring clarity to some of the things, and, you know, about the 2 meetings. So I want to make it clear, and you heard the commissioners, there's only 1 meeting that I'm concerned about, and that's the one they're going to have at 6 o'clock at 3451 Rivard at the, Sacred Hearts?
Yeah.
Sacred Hearts. So show up. Call your friends and make sure you come out and participate.
Yeah, there's not 2 meetings, one for each Detroit.
Yeah. We only concerned about the one Detroit, the one that's going to be this evening at 6 o'clock. Boy, this time is just flying. We got about 5 more minutes here. Is there anything you'd like to add, Gloria? Anything you'd like to ask?
What I heard was pretty good. I've been reading that.
You talking?
I've been reading the what is it? The act that you were talking about?
Oh, the Administrative Procedure Act?
The Administrative Procedure Act, and how it's conducted, and actually sparked interest. I had my hands in so many other things that I do, but I had said I was going to get more active with it, especially since it entails so many things. I wasn't aware that the charter was the main thing that kind of controls what the city does and how it benefit me or doesn't benefit the citizens. So it was it's been quite interesting, and the part that I heard when I come in, I'm happy to get that kind of clarity and knowledge about it. You know, It wasn't a waste of time. It's something that could be builded on and getting more active in the community. You know, not just for me, but for those coming after us. This is going to impact them greatly.
You're absolutely right.
You know.
And I'm glad you mentioned the Administrative Procedure Act, because that is a statute that governs all administrative agency, all agency, period. It's like the constitution of agency and function, and which I made sure that each commissioner had a copy of it. I gave each one of them a copy of the Administrative Procedure Act, and which I told them at the time, this was really at the Rules Committee. They was having a problem with talking about the notices and different things. I said, well, this document, when you get to an impasse, this would solve the problem, because this supersedes all the rules that you're talking about. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And to your viewing audience and all you listeners, get you a copy of the Administrative Procedure Act. You can download it online, and you'll be surprised at some of the things that you see that it covers. So, let's see, is there anything else down here that I might be forgetting? Can you think of anything, Mr. Scotty?
Oh, one thing I think I want to remind people of is this coming Thursday. Yeah, the Board of Police Commissioners is having their community meeting, and so instead of them being at the headquarters at 3 p.m., they are at, and I'm really wish I had the address in front of me, but it's like the Ford Center. It's right next to the Heilman Recreation Center over near Moross, between Kelly and Hayes. I think that would be approximately where it's at. But that's where they're going to have a special meeting. There's a Ford complex there that's adjoining an athletic complex that's adjoining the Heilman Recreation Center, and that's where they're going to be meeting. And I believe it starts at 6:30, if my memory serves me correctly, which is typically when the community meetings are on the second Thursday of each month. There are a number of issues one could bring up there, and we had talked about some of them before, but one of them is, whether or not from this point forward they are going to be properly disciplining officers that have problems like we did with Corporal Jones punching Lakeisha Williams, and whether they're going to get training for officers so that they don't have the misconception that this is all right, and moving forward, hopefully that these kinds of incidents don't happen again.
So that's Thursday at 6:30 at, you say on Kelly and Hayes?
No, it's near Moross, which is the east side name for 7 Mile over there.
Okay, right.
Between Kelly and Hayes. It's actually a little bit east of there. I think it's 1 block in from Moross. And there's like a Ford complex that's adjacent to the Heilman Recreation Center, which is probably a better known location where a lot of community meetings are at.
Heilman Recreation Center.
Heilman, yeah, is I think it's H-E-I-L, man. But it's not in that building. It's in the other building that says Ford on it.
See, now, the people need to go out and participate in these meetings. Now, the police commissioner's meeting is very important. People be talking about how the police treat them or mistreat them. Well, this is a place where you need to be. You need to be there just so you can see what's going on and how they function. And if you have a public safety concern or maybe something about an office or something, you need to go there and express whatever it is you feel. And you need to go there not only to complain, but to support the officers, because they are supposed to protect us. And if we are not there, I have to include myself. I haven't been going to, I've been doing so many things, but I'm gonna have to make some time to go to some of the meetings. Now, the time for those meetings.
The other ones are all at 3 p.m. at the headquarters on the other Thursdays. Mm-hmm. And the only other exceptions are holidays that sometimes they'll cancel meetings. But generally, every Thursday other than the second Thursday of the month is 3 p.m. over at the headquarters. And so the 6:30 p.m. on the second Thursday of the month is the exception. And those are held at different locations in the community. And this time it happens to be over there in the, I think that would be in Detroit's 4th District over by the Recreation Center.
Okay, well, we are out of time here. Matter of fact, we ran almost overtime.
Yeah, 9th Precinct, I think it's the precinct.
9th Precinct, okay.
Yeah, it's the one hosting it.
Well, like Hassan said, this is the fastest hour in show business. I'd like to thank our guest, Scotty Goldman, and hopefully this won't be his last time coming. And my co-host, I'm glad that she showed up and was able to make it. And I'm going to stress once again, be careful out there and go out and scrape that ice off your car, because it's going to be real bad. When I was out there, it was just ice coming down, just raining ice. And they say it's going to change to rain. And then that's going to freeze up, and they're talking about snow. So be very careful. And until next week, see ya.